Veterans. Some vets accidentally say or do things during the VA claims process that may trigger a proposed VA incompetent rating without realizing how serious the consequences can become. And what many vets don't realize is that an incompetency finding may affect finances, benefits, and long term control over your VA compensation. In today's video, I want to discuss mistakes veterans should avoid and why understanding this part of the VA process matters. Make sure you stick around. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dewayne. I got a video for that Kimble, United States Army veteran, retired VA rating specialist, and you know it, your VA claim nugget man. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. So today's video, incompetency. As a former VA rating specialist, I have rated several incompetency ratings. And a lot of times it's due to the veteran checking the incorrect box, saying the incorrect thing during a particular VA exam. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the VA's definition of incompetency, where you can find this information in one of their DBQs, and also what you can do to get yourself out of this pickle. Veterans, if you're filing a VA disability claim for a mental health condition, you know the process can be frustrating and overwhelming. Having the right evidence can make all the difference. That's where Tampa Counseling and Wellness comes in. They specialize in providing mental health DBQs and Nexus statements, helping veterans establish direct service connection for mental health conditions or secondary service connection due to issues like tinnitus, migraines, or back problems. The team at Tampa Counseling and Wellness is passionate about supporting those who serve. If you need expert support for your mental health claim, don't go at it alone. Contact Tampa Counseling and Wellness today. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen. Now, what I'm sharing with you today is the 38 CFR Code of Federal Regulations, okay? And this 38 CFR is 38 CFR 3.353. Again, 38 CFR 3.353. Now, the first thing we're going to look at here is what I have highlighted. Definition of mental incompetency. A mental incompetent person is one who, because of injury or disease, lacks the mental capacity to contract or to manage his or her own affairs, including disbursement of funds without limitation. Now, disbursement of funds, what are they talking about? Talking about VA compensation, okay? And a lot of you probably seen this in several DBQs, okay? But never paid attention to it. And today, you're going to have to pay attention to it. Now, this is one of many regulations and one of many manual references out there that you need to go and continue to do the research, okay? So I just want to give that definition. And they have some other pertinent information in here: medical opinion, presumption in favor of competency, and then due process, okay? We'll talk about this towards the end. Whenever it is proposed to make an incompetency determination, the beneficiary will be notified of the proposed action and of the right to a hearing, okay, as provided in 38 CFR 3.103. What hearing are they talking about, people? RVSR hearings. I've done this. I facilitated several hearings, and guess what? You know your VA Nugget Man got you covered. Not only do I have a video on adverse action, which talks about a proposal reduction, okay, and you can use that same criteria for incompetency. And I have a video about RVSR hearings. I facilitated several of those. And one in particular, I remember it was a Vietnam vet that had a fiduciary because they found him incompetent. He had a stroke and he was in a nursing home, but he was better and he moved back in his apartment. And that fiduciary wanted the VA to continue the incompetency rating. And the veteran was like, no, I can take care of myself. And one question that I asked, not only did I ask the veteran's lawyer, but I asked him, have you been getting treatment at the VA for a mental condition? The veteran said, yes. Do you have documentation showing that you can manage your financial affairs, your VA compensation? The veteran says, yes. The lawyer presented it to me. That's all I needed. And I didn't remove it. The VA removed that fiduciary based on my findings in that RVSR hearing. Now, why did you think that fiduciary wanted control over this veteran's money? Because they were still going to get paid. They had control over somebody else's money. And I was like, negative, Ghost Rider, not going to happen. So make sure you come and look at this VA regulation, and you could see all the information I'm sharing with you here. Okay. So let's keep going. Now we're going to look at the DBQ. And the DBQ I picked for this example today is the review PTSD DBQ. You can also find what I'm going to share with you here in a minute on other mental DBQs. Okay. So I just filled out John Doe, a fake social security number in a particular date. Okay. And I'm going to scroll down all the way to the bottom. Okay. So it's not so much about the DBQ itself, but I want to pick out one section for you. Okay. That you need to know, especially if you decide to go and have your private examiner to complete this VA's DBQ. Okay, here we go, right here. Is the veteran capable? This is the question right here. Is the veteran capable of managing his or her financial affairs? Where did you see that in that 38 CFR? Right? His or her financial affairs. That was in the 38 CFR, the first paragraph in that 38 CFR that I showed you. Okay. Now, look at this note right above this. For VA purposes, a mentally incompetent person is one who, because of injury or disease, lacks the mental capacity to contract or to manage his or her own affairs, including disbursement of funds without limitation. That is the exact VA's definition of incompetency that I showed you in that particular rating decision. I'm sorry, not rating decision, VA's regulation. Okay. So this is why it's so important to understand some of these questions in these DBQs and how these 38 CFRs, where you can find them in the DBQ. All right. So in this particular example, I'd said no, the veteran is not capable. And I'm going to give you, what I've given you right here is 3 examples that I've seen, okay, when I rate it. Veteran, the first one is veteran is service-connected for PTSD. His wife takes care of their monthly finances. Now, if you check no, and you wrote this statement, proposal of incompetency, okay? The second one, the veteran can't take care of his or her financial affairs due to his service-connected or his or her service-connected PTSD. You're going to get a proposal of incompetency. Now, let's look at this third one. Veteran is service-connected for PTSD. His wife takes care of their monthly finances. He's capable of taking care of our finances, but they both agree she will track what they have coming in and going out each month. Now, if I saw this third one, I'm taking a moment of pause, because when I'm thinking in my mind that the veteran is capable of handling their finances, him and his wife, they just agree, hey, I'm gonna let you take care of it. I can do it, but I'm gonna let you take care of it. Okay. So again, veteran is service connected for PTSD. His wife takes care of their monthly finances. He's capable of taking care of our finances, but they both agree she will track what they have coming in and going out each month. Now, the reason why I'm going to say he or she is good to go because he's capable or she's capable. But in this case, if you select number 3, then guess what? You should be selecting yes, in my opinion, okay? That way it doesn't cause any confusion because you don't want that VA rater to be on the fence about, wait a minute, should I be proposing incompetency or not? But 9 times out of 10, if you select no and write these 2 statements, file still rating, and per that 38 CFR and the M21-1 I'm about to share with you, I'm proposing incompetency. Okay. Now, let's say you're at number 3 and you selected no. Okay. And the rater said, I'm going to propose incompetency. Or if you feel that you are not incompetent and you have evidence to show that you are competent, what are your options? Right here, people. I'm going to blow this up right here. This is the M21-1. Due process for final determinations of inability to manage financial affairs. You've been hearing that. Financial affairs, right? So due process is before they say incompetency, we're going to assign a fiduciary for you. They have to give you due process. Part of that is an RVSR hearing. Again, people, I facilitated several of those, okay? Now, let's break this up. When the Department of Veterans Affairs, VBA, makes a proposed determination, they're not going to do it, they're just proposing, of a beneficiary's inability to manage VA benefits, VA compensation, the station of jurisdiction must notify the beneficiary of the proposed adverse action and its ramifications and provide the beneficiary with the opportunity to do what? The first one, submit additional evidence to contest the action and hold a hearing before the VA. That is a RVSR hearing. Now, my suggestion to you is if you find yourself in this situation and you request that RVSR hearing, just don't show up with no evidence. You can show up with witnesses. I would find a mental health examiner or your current mental health examiner. Have them to write a letter saying that you are competent to manage your financial affairs. You can introduce new evidence at that RVSR hearing. Don't let your VSO or your claims agent or attorney say, I'll just let them propose incompetency, take final action, and we'll deal with it later. We'll appeal it. No, don't do that. You're going to find yourself in a world of hurt if you do that. It's going to be harder to get out. It may take you even longer, okay? Then it says, upon completion of all actions associated with the proposal, the station of jurisdiction will establish an end product, EP 590. If you don't know what EPs are, don't worry about it. You know your Nugget Man got you covered. Got a video on it. If not automatically established by the system. And any necessary claim, attributes, and transfer EP to a hub of jurisdiction if national work queue routing does not occur. All right. Now, when I was doing my research for this particular video, there's a lot of information out there on competency and incompetency and what the VA is supposed to do, not do. So again, as I stated in my previous videos, when I share these references and regulations with you, there's more education. There's more time to go out because more research is needed because your situation could be different. So I showed you the 38 CFR that gave us the definition. I showed you the DBQ if no boxes checked and some statements are put in there and what you can do if you find yourself in this pickle. All right. But something I want you to take away from this video, people. If your significant other is just handling the funds because maybe you are over the road trucker, you work long hours, there's no reason to check no. Just check yes and don't put anything in the box. Leave it alone. They don't need to know, meaning the VA does not need to know that your wife handles the money because you're over the road trucker. She has to be there to pay the bills. If you were not married, you would be doing those same functions as it pertains to paying bills. There's no reason to check that no. Now, if you are incompetent and you're just going to blow that money, then yes, check that box. Because I've seen veterans, they'll say, "Hey, my girlfriend lives in the Philippines, and I have to support, and we're married." Or sometimes they'll get married, but they won't move to the Philippines. I've seen this. Oh, my wife or my girlfriend, they need money to live, and I need to support her. And they're sending their entire VA compensation check over there, a majority of it. And then they don't have money to pay their own rent, the mortgage, keep the lights on, and then they get all these past due bills. Trust me, people, I've seen it a lot in veterans claims. Okay. So they have what they call a field examiner. They go out, they investigate, and they deem the veteran incompetent. And then that person overseas, I've seen where they write letters to the VA. Crazy, crazy. So make sure you understand incompetency before you start filling out forms, before you start talking to people within the VA. All right. Just keep that in mind. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you. Don't be frustrated, get educated.